Council to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk will take the roll.
Mr. Sextro.
Here.
Ms. McDaniel. Here. Mr. Putoff.
Here.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Here.
Mr. Albrecht.
Here.
Mr. Burke.
Here. Everyone is present and in their place, and we will begin with ordinance 2317, which is a hiring ordinance. I'd like permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Here. Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes. An ordinance appropriating funds and appointing Timothy Gorey as firefighter/paramedic for the village of Evendale and declaring it as an emergency. May I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Now may I have a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved. Second.
Ms. McDaniel. I'm sorry, Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-17 adopted as an emergency. Next is ordinance 23-18. I'd like permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Ordinance appropriating funds and appointing Clint Platt as a firefighter/paramedic for the village of Evendale and declaring it as an emergency. May I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Now can I have a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-18 adopted as an emergency. And now we'll have the swearing-in ceremony. Mr. Gorey, you want to come up first? Timothy Gorey. Do solemnly swear that I will support and obey the Constitution of the United States of America
Do solemnly swear that I will support and obey the Constitution of the United States of America
and the state of Ohio,
and the
the duties of firefighter and paramedic to the best of my ability.
Will faithfully discharge the duties of firefighter paramedic to the best of my ability.
So you both can sign. Just sign yours.
Southall, congratulations. Congratulations, Glenn.
Obviously, Clint, tradition, presenting you with your helmet. Congratulations, welcome. Thank you. We look forward to having you on, all of you. And you've already been on for a day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Oh, no, you're good.
Just once, I want to see him stick around.
And now we have a guest with us tonight from the from the Sharonville branch of the Hamilton County, Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library. Come on up to the microphone and tell us why you're here.
Hello, my name is Jenna Stanko, and I'm the branch supervisor, youth services at the Sharonville branch. And I'm planning on attending more of your meetings, and we're trying to make ourselves regular guests here. But I brought a couple things to bring to the council's attention today. We are doing COVID testing at the Sharonville branch. It is free. There are no out-of-pocket fees for this. It's a partnership between Hamilton County Public Health and Ethos Labs. And it's Thursdays 10 to noon and Fridays from 10 until 6 p.m. But they do PCR and rapid antigen testing, and they're also now doing options for rapid testing of RSV, strep, and the flu. Walk-ins are welcome, and there's also places on our website to sign up to get a slot so you know when you're coming. More information is available on our website. And then we'd also like to let you know that in a partnership with Health to Host, we're going to have the mobile mammogram van at the library on Tuesday, March 28th, from 8 to 10:30. And there is a phone number for that on our website, and you can call and get your appointment, or I believe they also have a sign-up online, and there's a link through our website.
Very good. I have a warm place in my heart for the libraries. When I was in the 6th grade, the mobile library used to come to Galbraith and Galbraith Road, and I used to go up and get 3 books every week. And they had a little round circle, and if you went all the way around and got your 3 books every week and read them every week, you got a little chit in your circle. And so completed the program, and I've always credited that for success, particularly in school, because I think if you don't know how to read, you can't do anything.
Well, our branch has always served both the Sharonville and Evendale area, and I think this partnership is too long in coming, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of your council meetings. Thank you.
Jenna's
you for
been at
coming.
this, Jenna's been at this branch since 1993, since it's
No,
opened.
I've actually been there since 1990.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, I predate our current building, which is going to have its 30th anniversary this year. So we will definitely be letting you know more on that. And I believe our director of the entire library will be visiting sometime in May. And so we hope to see you again.
Your online book program has been wonderful. I know my wife has been lost in it for many weeks now. So,
Well, I'm starting to really enjoy our downloadable books because I'm getting ready for cataract surgery again. And I can now read again. I haven't been able to look at books for a while, which is a problem for me. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. All right, now we'll move to our regular agenda. The first item is the minutes. They have been previously distributed. Is there any additions, corrections, or changes? If not, could I have a motion that they be approved?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff, I'm sorry, Mr. Sextro,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Putoff.
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
yes.
So the minutes are approved, and now we'll go to committee reports, and we'll start with Councilman Albrecht.
Yeah, Mayor, another good month in February. Year-to-date receipts are about 2.5 million, exceeding last year by about 128,000. So within 2 months, we've got a good jump on last year's totals. Total receipts last month, 1.25 million. Expenditures were a little over that, resulting year-to-date, we are receipts over expenditures by a whopping $7,700. So at least we're in the black. So we had some big expenses, and so everything's in order and looking good financially. Rec Center, we got the extravaganza on Saturday, April 1st. It's not a joke. And so if you haven't signed up, get your, with little kids, get out there and get signed up for that. Pickleball is also seeing great numbers on the Thursday night play, and with roughly 20 to 24 attending each week. And so we're going to have the outdoor pickleball courts opening up soon. So if you're interested in learning, now is a great time to start looking into that. Spring is gearing up for youth softball, baseball. Are we still looking for more, Adam, are we still looking for more girls for this? They have it now covered? Okay. For the first time in many years, we have a girls softball team, and they were running a few players short, but it sounds like they've got that covered now. Gorman Farm, the summer camp is officially sold out for 2023. They are partially due to the new capacity. We are seeking part-time front desk associates to work on Fridays and Saturdays. So if anybody's interested in a part-time job, please contact the farm and inquire with them about that position. Service department, they just continue to stay busy as we enter spring. Crew's been addressing several miscellaneous projects around, which is kind of a constant activity for them. The seasonal work, they're going to be hiring 3 to 4 seasonal employees to help with all the seasonal work and lawn mowing and such throughout the summer. Reminder again, Shred Day, April 22nd, 8 to 12. So start digging through everything in the basement, clean out all your unwanted junk. Also, you've seen a lot of trucks running around Alta Fiber. Just to remind everybody that Cincinnati Bell, now Alta Fiber, is installing the Vioptics. It's just going to be a headache working around the trucks, and we're going to have to be patient with everything they're doing, but they are progressing, and they're going to be here for the next several months working on that project. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Albrecht? Or?
You know, I just want to reiterate how lucky we are to have the service department and some of the services they provide. They were very helpful for me this week, and it's great.
They're doing a great job out in front of this building.
Yes, they are.
Nice, yeah.
The rec center.
Long-needed repair job, and it really looks great. It really looks great. It looks great. Okay. Mrs. Councilwoman Carolyn Smiley Robinson, can you give us the police and fire report?
Yes, I will. I'm going to start with fire, and obviously we've just gone through the swearing in of our 2 newest firefighters. I wanted to share with all of council that all the candidates we had were excellent, bringing us that quality of candidates to interview, and that every one of the candidates commented on our change in schedule as something, and even spoke to leadership being on board to make that kind of a change. So just wanted to give that feedback.
Councilperson, while you're on fire department, let me read a letter that we have received from the members of the Evendale Fire Department. Dear Village of Evendale Council members and Mayor, the members of the Evendale Fire Department would like to send our appreciation for considering and approving changes to the work schedule for the department personnel. It is respected that you, the council members and mayor, opened the floor to the request for change. We thank you for taking the time to listen, consider, and approve the change in schedule and pay. These changes have made a positive impact by giving us more time with our families, adequate time to rest and recover, which in turn all benefits our mental health. We are certain that new benefits will be advantageous in attracting the quality men and women we want joining our team in the future. Men and women that will proudly provide emergency services for the residents and guests of Evendale as we do. Each and every one of us holds pride in our jobs and the community in which we serve. We will continue to provide the highest level of care for the community and continue striving to be one of the greatest departments in the county. Respectfully, the members of the Evendale Fire Department. I just thought that was well worth reading, and we should pat ourselves on the back, I guess. Now, you may continue.
We are projecting to have vacancies at the captain's level early next year. So to get in front of that, we're going to start a promotional process to bring additional captains on so that there will be some overlap there. Testing for that will be done in June, and of course, promotions to captain will also create vacancies at the lieutenant level. So we're going to be going through testing for both lieutenants and captains, and with an expectation of the hiring committee meeting in June to go through for promotions. So that's where we are. And then hopefully, this is my last editorial comment. I'm not sure it's true. We knew we were going to have a wave like we've had the last year plus of people leaving, retiring, and we knew we were going to hit us all at once. It did. And I think when we get on the other side of this, we will be close to being a little bit on the other side of this wave of people that will be leaving at this time. So, and thanks to both the police and the fire department for making sure that we had good candidates to come in and fill where we had vacancies and to be able to attract the new hires. Also, the fire department has applied for a new FEMA grant for a new air compressor. You know, the current one takes a long time to fill the bottles, so that's what we're trying to do to get bottles back in service sooner. Moving on to police, all but 3 of the flock cameras had been installed as of last week. There were some wiring issues with those 3. That's why they weren't there. Just wanted to provide the feedback that Chief gave us that 3 cases were solved very quickly as a result of having these cameras in place. So they're working as designed such that we can work with surrounding communities and trace someone in and out of our community. Chernobyl installing them, Blue Ash has installed them as well. And so we're able to track somebody in and out of the community. Also, our trainees who finished the academy in December and were sworn in, but then were in field training. Their field training is coming to a close, and they will be out of that phase and working in the village. And I think that's police.
I also have a letter I'd like to read for the police department.
I'm going to pause after every department.
Dear Mayor Richard Finan, February 18th, 2023. I wanted to drop you a note about one of your village police officers. On Saturday morning, February 18th, I had car trouble on Pfeiffer Road at approximately 9:45. Officer Kevin Akers arrived a short time later, responding from a call to him from a nice lady. I had a senior moment and forgot my cell phone. For the next 30 minutes, he offered me much kindness in calling AAA to have them come to tow the car. He was very concerned to make sure my family was notified. The village of Evendale is so fortunate to have a caring and kind police officer, as I'm sure all your officers are. From a former Sycamore High School law student teacher, a tip of the hat of gratitude. And it's from Alvin G. Rosenberger, who lives at 9904 Barnsley Court, Montgomery, Ohio. And we'll give this to you, Chief, to put in Officer Akers' file. Okay.
Very good. Then moving on to cultural arts, bourbon tasting, the last bourbon tasting event sold out. The next one is going to be Friday, April 28th, and it's going to have a Kentucky Derby theme. Sign-ups are not yet available, but should be available beginning April 1st. The call to artist deadline was last week, and our final number of submissions was 249, and those submissions were juried. They just finished that, and letters went out today to people who were selected for that.
How many do they select?
How many do we select?
We can only do between 127 and 130.
Okay. So, for residents who may not have heard, it was 127 to 130 got selected. The next Art Ventures is to the Reds Hall of Fame. There are still 3 seats available. So go to the website and sign up for that if you're interested. And then we have the new program manager ordinance on our agenda. Moving to building, planning, and zoning. One of our planning commission members has moved out of Evendale, and I didn't see it on the agenda, but I think we're going to have a replacement. Is that next month? We're expecting to.
We hope so.
We hope to have that next month. Okay. We have a couple of ordinances. Planning Commission was held right before us, but there's some ordinances that cover that later in our meeting, so I'm going to defer to that. And there are some Mark Elmo's brought to our attention that there's some issues that we probably need to look at in our zoning ordinances. So we're going to be taking a look at a few ordinances that involve food truck rentals and sign ordinances. It'll probably take us 6 months to come up with some recommendations for some possible changes in those areas. Trophy Pizza is open. The food is good, so.
It's fantastic, actually.
Okay. So There's been talk about us establishing an entertainment district there. So we have engaged a discussion with someone who specializes in that area to flush that out for us and what that would involve. And as far as the Spartan Drive, a report was sent out to all the tenants, and they've all been notified that they must get an occupancy report. And as of last week, we had 5 requests to get their occupancy reports done. And then in terms of new permits, there were 25 new permit applications. 11 were issued, which are going to translate roughly to $65,000 in construction fees. And I think the rest will be covered via ordinance.
Okay, any questions, comments? Thank you. I have a couple of things. Number one, tell the public that we were graced with the President of the Senate last week, came here and participated in a meeting, particularly about our Smart Tech Center. It was a very productive meeting that we had. Senate Bill 75 has been introduced and has had its first hearings. This is allowing 2 municipalities to create a JED, and we're looking at potentially of forming a JED for the gun range. We are going to need a special council meeting, and I would like to set that for April 18th, if possible, at 7 o'clock. This is, I forgot what it's for. Anyway, we need a special council meeting.
I will not be available that night.
Okay.
Mayor, it's for the,
You forgot too.
no, it's the abatement.
GT.
Abatements on the purchase.
GTC.
Oh, GTC. Yeah, okay. Is there another night that's better for you?
I'm gone that whole week,
Okay,
so if you can do it without me, that's fine.
I think so. We just have to get this done. All right, some of you saw the article, press release by General Electric that indicates they're going to spend $330 million in new projects, 17 million of which will be in Evendale, which is potentially good for us. The gun range is moving along, and we hope for a possible groundbreaking in this fall sometime for the gun range. The annual Board of Health meeting was held. I was away on funny business, but Councilman Burke attended for me, and he will give a report on the Board of Health meeting.
Yes, actually, I was very kind to the mayor because they had voting for the new chairperson and secretary. The chairperson that was currently there, she decided to run again and accept the nomination. But the secretary, who was not in attendance, got voted in. So somebody that wasn't there. But anyway, so they have a new chairperson and secretary. Gary Kesterman, who is, I guess he's the head of the Board of Health, does a great job with information. The packet he put out was fantastic, and I provided the slides to Mike Hauk, and I think you're going to give them to the mayor when you're done with them. Oh, Cindy has them, okay. But also he provided me afterwards a contact name for MSD. It's a county employee who works with the MSD in coordination. Her name is Karen Ball. She helped out with another municipality and was very helpful. And we have some issues going on with MSD and the Aero Hub. So, and also, let's see. COVID testing were actually the highest numbers in 3 years. However, deaths and hospitalizations were the lowest. And the rates for 2024 for the fees for each municipality and city are going to go up by 3% in a time that inflation is running around 8 to 9%. So they're going to go up in 2024. Cynthia has that information. It's going to go, ours will go from 13,911 to basically 14,317. And Dr. Elizabeth Ann Kelly was elected to continue as the medical director for Hamilton County. She's at UC Health. And the Hamilton County Advisory Committee is made up of 12 townships, 19 villages, and 13 cities. And the county is in the process. Process, to give you an idea of some of the other stuff they do. They're planning for new space for the future. The county processes in 2022 40,000 birth and death certificates during that year. They did say syphilis cases are a problem currently. Safe sex is a must. 400 cases reported in 2022. So other things that the county does, they also provide 500 training for food handling. They inspect 8,000 restaurants and groceries in 2022, 1,400 clinics inspections, and let's see what else. COVID cases are the lowest, the highest in 2022, but currently they're lowest in a 5-year history. So far this year. Monkeypox in Ohio has been a problem. 27 cases reported in Hamilton County, 391 in the state, and 30,000 in the U.S. Measles are a problem. Measles are a problem in Ohio, but only one reported in Hamilton County. Most of them were in Columbus area based on child daycare. It spreads very quickly for people that have not gotten vaccinated for it. Camera program is helping. They have a camera program, so if there's any concerns of legal dumping, they will provide cameras in an area to help catch people, and it's been very helpful in the past year. There are 1,400 dry wells in Hamilton County that need to be corrected by 2045. About $1,200 cost per correcting each of the wells. So a significant cost, but they are slowly working on it. Testing for Hamilton County Park Lakes showed no issues, and Safe SAFE program is working well, and with testing fentanyl and administration of Narcan. Easter Seals is helping find jobs for past drug addicts. And let's see what else. Oh, and there's also 3 mini grants currently available for $15,000 each, and the applications are due March 28th. That information was given to Chief Hauk, who actually is going to apply for a portable AED pod or stand that's out in by the fields, right? 3 of them. So it's a pretty neat system. There's actually, if you go up to Summit Park, you'll see them outside. And obviously, I think it's a good thing, especially after dealing and seeing what the city went through with Damar Hamlin. So, and that's really all I have.
I think Michelle Gottlieb is applying for some of those We Thrive grants also.
Okay.
I remember signing them, so.
Okay.
Any questions, anyone? Okay, let's go on then to our agenda. Next, we have a resolution 23-01, and I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
A resolution to take those steps necessary to comply with Ohio Uniform Depository Act and designate an active, interactive, and inactive accounts. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-01 adopted. Next, we have ordinance 23-12. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the payment of amounts due, and ordinance upon certain contracts requiring certification of availability of funds and declaring as an emergency. May I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Now we need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-12 adopted as an emergency. Next, we have ordinance 23-13. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
An ordinance appointing Mayor Richard Finan and Chief Fiscal and Accounting Officer Cynthia Karachi to the Hamilton County Tax Incentive Review Council and declaring it as an emergency. I need a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
I now need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Sorry, which one was?
Carolyn.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-13 adopted as an emergency. Next, we have ordinance 24-14. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Garland/DBS Inc. for the master intergovernmental cooperative purchasing agreement for the shingle roof to replace the roof at the Cultural Arts Center and declaring it as an emergency. May I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
This is going to put a badly needed roof on the Cultural Arts Center because it's leaking like a sieve, am I correct?
So are they taking the old roof totally off all the way down to the wood?
And it is the shingle and not the steel, correct?
It's, steel was going to be 3 times the cost of shingles. We opt for they're architecturally correct shingles, so. Okay, next is ordinance 23-16. I need a motion to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a lease between the Village of Evendale and Park Hills Homeowners Association and declaring it as an emergency. Want to explain a little bit about this? It might be somewhat new to the members.
Yeah, so back in 2014, the Park Hills Homeowners Association approached the village. They have the entry signs at Giverny and Glendon Milford, as well as the landscape islands on Giverny and Sherbrooke that are within the public right-of-way. These were constructed as part of the original subdivision. So their insurance carrier and legal advisor had recommended getting a lease with the village. So we passed one in 2014. Unfortunately, it had a sunset clause at 5 years and nobody bothered to renew it. And we kind of ran across this because the HOA is now planning on redoing the entryway at Giverny and Park Hills, or Giverny and Glendon Milford, to redo the signage. So we basically rewrote the lease that we did in 2014 with 2 exceptions. One, we allowed it basically renews automatically every 10 years. There are provisions that provide the village and or Park Hills an out. And then the other one is that there was a requirement that they had to write a check for $1 a year for this lease. And it seemed kind of silly to process, and by the time that Cynthia would have to deal with it, it would seem a hell of a lot more expensive than $1 a year. So we took that provision out. So those are the only 2 changes from 2014's lease. But this basically is being done because the village doesn't want to maintain it. This was done as the behest of the Homeowners Association, initially part of Homerama in 1985, and they've been maintaining it ever since. So.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a proposed amendment to the lease. By eliminating that $1, and I certainly understand why you want to do it, you eliminated consideration for entering into the agreement. So I recommend that for rent, not that we make them pay anything, but that item number 4, rent, where it says there shall be no rent due, that it be changed to, in consideration of entering into this agreement, Park Hills Homeowners Association shall maintain said property consistent with the terms of this agreement. It's referenced in the recitals, but it's not a part of the agreement. So that gets us around consideration for the contract.
That is a motion.
That's a motion we amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-16 adopted as an emergency. Next, we have ordinance 23-19. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved?
Second?
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Mayor, I'll be recusing myself from this vote.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
An ordinance appointing Mark Hesse as Recreation Program Supervisor for the Village of Evendale and declaring it as an emergency. Can I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
Mayor, before we do that,
Yes, ma'am.
I have some questions and concerns about this particular ordinance, and let me start out by saying it is not a question or any concern about the person that's being named in it. My question and concerns have to deal with the process and procedures and how we do business of bringing a full-time employee on. I don't believe we followed our processes here or necessarily agreed to waive them. So I'm questioning how we got to this point without.
Mr. Knight, you want to address that? Go through the process that was followed.
So the process was, we put it out for, well, first of all, I met with the mayor to get his approval to go forward with the process. We advertised the position through OPRA, through our Facebook page, our website, through our newsletter, and just wherever we could get it out. The applications came in, and then myself and our other two program supervisors and our administrative secretary, we held the interviews with 3 qualified candidates, discussed the fit, and we decided that Mark was the best fit for the position, and we moved forward with that.
And I recognize that you're new in the position, but when we bring somebody full-time on, all other departments have to come before the hiring committee. So I don't understand why Recreation didn't follow that process.
From everything we had and from all the records I had in the past, that has not been done in recreation. I can't speak to that because everything, we went back to the previous employees that were brought on, and that process has not been, we followed the process as it's happened.
We've not followed that process with full-time employees?
I follow the same process that has been followed in the past.
In rec, right, in rec.
In rec.
In recreation.
And were they all full-time program?
Yes.
Correct. They were full-time.
Yes.
This issue was raised a number of years ago, and I don't recall how it was resolved, but it was discussed that rec did not follow the same protocol as police and fire, and those were the two, because we don't necessarily do it for service either.
We do for service. We do it for
Everybody
service. Yes, we do.
Having not been on the hiring committee for a while, and so I recall, and I can't remember, it was Mayor Apking, and I don't recall why it was concluded that rec didn't, but it was discussed at that point, recognizing that they were following a different protocol. I agree with you. I think everybody should be on the same page, but I agree with Adam in that it was, the past history is they didn't follow that. I know Mayor Apking, for whatever reason, and again, it's been several years, concluded that they didn't have to.
Okay. Well, I guess I would like to say that before we do something again in rec, that we have the conversation as to whether or not this should come through. I'm glad to know that was posted. Yeah. That was my other concern, that we actually, advertise for this, or at least post it, internally. But again, particularly in an instance where we have a member of council recusing themselves from something, we haven't followed our designated processes. There was a time, I do remember a time, when we actually did bring before hiring for program supervisors, or what the position. So I'm not sure why we got off track, and that may have been when I was not on council.
I don't recall all the details.
Okay, okay.
So Carolyn, you're saying this
I
should-
remember there was one discussion about advertising, and that we decided you had to advertise. We decided that. I don't remember anything about
Okay.
other hiring practice, but I could
You're
be
saying
wrong.
this
But
wasn't-
so as far as the future is concerned, we'll say that Recreation Department has to follow the same rules
For full-time
for full-time.
hires.
Yeah,
It's
full-time.
being done with the cultural arts assistant.
That's part-time.
It's part-time.
It's part-time
Part-time.
position.
Part-time
Okay.
position.
Full-time is what we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
Hiring and promotions, full-time.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well,
All right.
thank you.
So we're consistent.
Okay, may I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Ms. McDaniel? Ms.
Yes.
Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved,
Second?
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-19 adopted as an emergency. Next, we have ordinance 23-20, and I'd like to read it by title only.
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement to sell certain village-owned real estate and declaring it as an emergency. May I have a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance?
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
McDaniel? Ms.
Yes.
Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now may I have a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance?
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Putoff? Ms.
Yes.
Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-20 adopted as an emergency. Next
Right.
is ordinance 23-21. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
An ordinance or authorizing creation of the part-time position of program manager for the Evendale Cultural Arts and declaring it as an emergency. I need a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance.
So moved?
Second?
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second?
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved?
Second?
Second,
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 23-21 adopted as an emergency. That completes our agenda tonight. Does anyone have anything else for the good of the order?
I thought Councilman Auburn, did you have a question about the previous ordinance or a comment?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Sextro?
yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Putoff?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley Robertson?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Council will stand adjourned.